Hello best friend and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fabulous day. If this is the first time you're watching my channel, my name is Sebastian and I welcome you guys with open arms. I do pop culture videos every single day. So if you're looking for a new messy best friend, you have found me. Grab a snack, grab a drink, hit that subscribe button. I would be very grateful. You guys, we have to talk because, first of all, before we get into this, I've been saying this in every single video of mine. If you are new, my energy is a little bit low because the day before yesterday, I had a heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Girl, you see, this is what happens when you work out, bitch. So if you notice my energy is a little bit low, I'm just starting to feel a little bit better. So I'm on my way to being 100%. But just so you know, don't judge if this is the first time you're watching. But yes, I'm getting there, but I'm not quite there yet. So anyways, we have to talk about Kendall Jenner because she just did an interview that kind of blew my mind in the sense of this is really not what you hear when it comes to Kardashian Jenner girls. When you think about the Kardashian Jenners, you think that they are obsessed with fame, with money, that they love this life, that they were made for this life. But she just opened up, and I'm gonna read you guys the article, and then we can talk about it. So she says that she's always felt out of place within the Kardashian Jenner clan. She says, I was born into this life, but I didn't choose this life. Which is very interesting and very true. They started the Kardashians, I believe they must have been, I think she was literally 11 years old when the Kardashians started. So, you know, at those years, they're the most critical in your development. You know, you're just about to enter puberty. You're just about to kind of, you know, start living real life things, you know, first crush and insecurities and, you know, body image issues, maybe bullying, you know, all of the things that teenagers go through, you know, hormones and puberty and you know, all of these things. I mean, imagine having a camera shoved in your face when you're that young. Like, all of the embarrassing things that you and I did as a child, imagine having that on film. Oof. No. I just gotta Can you imagine? Uy, no. Anyways, she goes on to say that Kim Kardashian and her sisters were built for a life in the spotlight and being chased by paparazzi. This is not the case for her. Kendall admitted it has taken her almost 2 decades in the limelight to come to terms with the fact that this is her life. But that doesn't mean she resents her family. She goes on to say, I consider myself one of the luckiest people on the planet to be able to live the life that I live. But I do think that it's challenging for me a lot more than it's not. She goes on to say, I obviously understand I fall under the umbrella of the Kardashian sisters, but it's just weird to me because I'm just like my dad in so many ways. I'm such a Jenner in my opinion. Still, it looks like that feeling is not quite strong enough to stop her from getting involved in the Kardashian-centric spectacle. She goes on to say, basically that, you know, this whole thing being chased by paparazzi and the limelight and millions of people knowing who you are, that she believes that especially Kim Kardashian is built for this. And I've watched the show since day one. You definitely can tell that Kendall Jenner is very different than the sisters. You know, she's more of like an outdoorsy person. She loves horses. She loves sports. She loves, you know, you don't really see her so involved in the show. She's very, very private. She really is very careful what she chooses to share on the Kardashian show. And so, yeah, I mean, and if you really think about it, the show is called The Kardashians. You know what I mean? So obviously Kendall and Kylie, they're Jenners, but they're basically also considered Kardashians. And I really do believe that. I'm glad that she wrote that she considers herself the luckiest person and one of the luckiest person in the world to be able to live the life she lives. Because had it not been for this show, you know, she wouldn't be the highest paid model in the whole world. I definitely think that you should definitely, like, you know, if you're in their position, especially because they didn't choose this, I do think that people should be a little bit nicer to them. And I'll tell you why, because they were only 11 years old. I mean, Kris Jenner's the one who made the decision to show them. You know what I mean? They probably agreed to it, but at 11 years old, how do you know that you're signing up for something like this? You know what I mean? So I feel like Kendall and Kylie have actually done, you know, aside from, you know, their nasty attitudes, you know, and they're not so nice things, and the whole Selena Gomez thing, I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of going. If you really watch the show, you see that Kendall and Kylie are not so involved, that it's mainly Kim and Khloe and sometimes Kourtney. Kendall and Kylie, I believe that they're choosing to be a little bit more private than the sisters. You know, Kylie has gone to become a billionaire. I know she's not a billionaire anymore, but she was like at $1 billion, and now she's like at 800 million. Huge makeup empire. And then, you know, Kendall has gone out to do being the top paid supermodel in the world. So Khloe, Kourtney, and Kim actually followed in their footsteps of having real businesses, if you will. Kim, she definitely has had her real businesses, but it's not until like maybe 5 years ago that KKW came out, her makeup, her skincare, her perfumes really launched. You know, Khloe, she recently did Good American, her jeans, and Kourtney is just doing her gummies. So, you know, they kind of saw what Kylie and Kendall did, and they were like, okay, we need businesses. We can't just live off, you know, this show. We can't live off, you know, doing these antics. I honestly, I feel for Kendall. I mean, I really do feel like the privilege is out of the world. I think that every single door is open. I think that if it was not for the Kardashian show, they wouldn't be where they're at. So I'm glad she's acknowledging that she's very lucky. But I also think it must be really weird, because if you watch the show, you can definitely see that Kendall has gone through a lot of anxiety, and a lot of like all of these things really kind of stress her. And I really think that she's not going to, I mean, she barely is on the show. So I kind of see her really separating herself. She did say that she would not raise her children in Los Angeles. She's always talked about moving to like a farm somewhere. So I think that Kendall is gonna, if I see anything in Kendall's future, I think she's gonna settle down, have kids, and move somewhere like really, really private. And I just don't think we're gonna see her that much anymore. It's very interesting, because if you really think about it, like, your childhood is filmed for the world to see. Did you really have a childhood? You know what I mean? Like, did you really get to, you know, I was watching the show called Pen 15, which is about two girls in the 90s who are going through puberty and stuff. I mean, they're played by like 20-something-year-olds, but they're supposed to be like 14 or something. And I mean, they go through the most embarrassing things, you know, their first period and their first, you know, sexual awakening, and the hormones and the this and the that. I just can't imagine, you know, I look at my, you know, when I was around that age, and I'm just like, I just can't imagine having a camera. I think I honestly would have been real fucked up now. I truly would, because I think that you have to go through your childhood, be able to make mistakes, be able to, you know, be awkward and weird. And I just don't think that they had that opportunity, you know? Interesting if you really think about it. Anyways, what do you guys think of Kendall not being, I mean, she is getting some backlash online, because they're like, well, you don't feel like a Kardashian, but you're definitely using all the Kardashian contacts. The Kardashians open the door for you. I definitely think that, like I said, if it was not for the Kardashians, these girls would not be nowhere. So none of them. I mean, if it was not for the show, they would not be where they're at. So anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. I'm very grateful for you guys. And God, this made me just think of all the awkward puberty, you know, things that I, oh my God. Do you guys want? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a real quick story. It's just so embarrassing, but I'll tell you because we're talking about this. So I think I must have been in 5th grade or something. I don't even remember. But I was like in 5th grade. I had a crush on a guy named Enrique. And I was so obsessed with him, like so obsessed with him. I just remember like, I was a late bloomer, like of the sexual thoughts. Like I didn't grow up with that until much later, but I did have a lot of princess and prince thoughts, you know, and getting married thoughts and those kind of thoughts. I was more of that type of fantasy. I think honestly, sex came at like 16, 17, my thoughts. Before that, I was very, very innocent in the sense of, you know, if I had a crush, it would be like, I want to marry him and, you know, be together forever, like things like that. So I remember the whole class left for some reason and I stayed behind and I went to his book pack. I went to his chair. I got he left his sweater and his book bag. And I remember grabbing the sweater or the jacket and just smelling it. And I was smelling it and smelling and I hugged it. And I still remember like that smell of his. It's not necessarily a cologne, but it may be like I don't know what it smelled like, but I was so in love with this kid. And I remember that I went through his book pack and I stole something from it. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was like a pencil or it was something small. It was definitely something small. I just wanted something of his because I just recently, I remember I watched the movie The Craft and we were very much into like doing spells and stuff. And that was like my witch era. And I remember that I needed something of his. And you were supposed to put it like in a box under your bed with like some roses or something. And I remember I did it. I remember I got the box, I got some roses, I put whatever I stole and I put it under my bed for some time. Oh my God, it's so, imagine doing that while being filmed. I actually recently found him on Instagram. I didn't add him or anything, but yeah, I was so obsessed with this kid, you guys. I think Kendall is very, very privileged and very lucky. And, you know, but I do feel for Kendall and Kylie because I do believe their childhood was taken away in a sense. Because honestly, like your childhood, I feel like you really, you have to like go through things to learn, and that kind of shapes you for when you're older. And like you have all these memories, and then if you were like on a show, you wouldn't be able to like do these things, you know, that we did. But anyways, nothing really happened. I don't think the spell ever worked. My God. I used to do some super embarrassing things. I gotta go. Whew. Anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.